Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Here we go! Oh! Oh no! Oh my god! No way! Oh! It's Henry Cavill! Oh, look at these fights! Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to Let's Talk About It, the show where we talk about everything going in the movie, TV, and video game world. I am your host, and I go out and find these topics that interest me, but I hope they interest you. And you guys, before we start getting into the video, see this little button right here? It's called subscribe. Press the subscribe button. Just by pressing that button, guys, just by pressing that, you help us out immensely, so much on our way to 500 subscribers. So all you gotta do, press that subscribe button, turn notifications when you know when this series is coming out, and let's get started. Now, also a little bit other stuff out of the way. I usually do not do Let's Talk About It on the weekends, but the schedule for my Let's Talk About It's usually are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I missed Wednesday this week. Wednesday I just had so much stuff going on, couldn't get one out. So I decided, I want to get one out before Monday because tomorrow we're going to have a lot of box office news to talk about. We'll do a little box office update tomorrow. But that's why we're doing it today, Sunday, and there is still a lot of news to talk about. But before that, out of the way, let's get into that news right now. And that first set of news is this. There's been a lot of rumblings this week about a little film, Doctor Strange 3. Rumblings that Sam Raimi is going to be coming back, which I think that is the right move. You can say what you want about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Sam Raimi, I think, made an okay movie, but that movie grossed over $900 million. Didn't hit $1 billion, but got very close to it. And, when you have a movie almost hit $1 billion, you kind of want to bring back the director who did, because I think adding Sam Raimi to that Doctor Strange movie made people more excited to go see it, even also for the multiversal aspects. Now, an article came out this morning on comicmovie.com that, a lot of people are saying like it's real. And we're going to talk about this article. And I'm going to tell you that this article is not really going to happen. According to them, has Denzel Washington really been cast as Dormammu in Doctor Strange 3? Now, we have seen the character of Dormammu before when he was in Doctor Strange 1, but he was more of like a CGI character. We never really saw a human form or like a smaller form. And this kind of makes sense, the final end credit scene for Doctor Strange 2, we saw I think it's what's her name? It's Charlize Theron's character, I can't remember her name. See her name for the life of me. And then they jumped into a portal and entered, I think, Dormammu's universe. I can't remember if Cersei, or I can't remember what her name was. See, that's the problem. Marvel does these post-credit scenes. You can't even remember the characters they were teasing. And now this, honestly, this news is coming from Production Weekly, which, Production Weekly is a site that, updates us on, productions and how people have filed things, to shoot in places, what names they want to be under for their films. And, honestly, this site, people have gone to this site before and said, a Mr. Freeze movie was happening apparently, and Production Weekly reported on it. And then James Jones was like, that's not happening. There's about a 10% chance that they're ever correct. But anyway, we're going to talk about it. How they want Denzel Washington to be, apparently Denzel Washington is in Doctor Strange 3. My thoughts on that? It's not true, guys. It's not true. Listen, I love comicmovie.com, but they are not a site, that I would say is reliable information. They basically report on rumors, and we talk about a lot of rumors on this channel. But guys, like I said before, unless it's reported by a major trade site, Deadline, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, those are the three main sites that you will know that it's real. That is real casting. This is not being reported by Deadline, Variety, Hollywood Reporter. No reliable sites. It's being reported by someone on X. And people are like, oh my gosh, Denzel Washington's going to be in Doctor Strange 3. I'm like, first off, I don't think Denzel Washington will ever be in a Marvel movie, guys. I know you guys want these Oscar-winning actors. But, that's not the type of movies those guys do. Denzel Washington, look, he's going to be in Gladiator 2. That's honestly, that's really rare because Denzel Washington doesn't do a lot of high-profile films. He does the films that he feels will be special. Gladiator 2, him joining that really tells us, oh, maybe there's something really interesting about Gladiator 2. I don't think we will see Denzel Washington ever join a Marvel movie. Now, I could be wrong. This could come to bite me in the ass, guys, saying like, oh, a few months later, Hollywood Reporter reports Denzel Washington cast as villain in Doctor Strange 3. That could happen, but I think it's very, very unlikely. I honestly do not think Denzel Washington will ever do a superhero type movie. I think he's at a stage in his career where, he doesn't take on a whole lot of projects. He's got a family, he wants to be with his family. He wants to take on, he will be part of really special projects, I think that's what Denzel's going to do. Personally, I don't know the man. I don't know what he's thinking. Who knows? Maybe he just wants to do a Marvel movie for his kids, Who knows? But honestly, I don't think this is true, But if it's a few months from now and Denzel Washington is going to be in Doctor Strange 3, I'll believe it. But right now, I think this is just rumor-based, and I think it's a really, really weird rumor that is very unbelievable. But what do you guys think? Do you think Denzel is actually going to be in Doctor Strange 3? Personally, I'm on the fence saying, no, I don't think he will. I do not think he will. But, a lot can happen in a few months. We could hear in a few months Denzel Washington is going to be in Doctor Strange 3. Leave your comments down below on this. And let's move on to our second topic here today. And that is this. The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot has not just surprised me by how good it is, but how good the box office has been. This was a movie, I thought it would never even crack $75 million. It cracked that and made is now past the $100 million global. It even has made more money than Transformers 1, which is an IP people know. And a movie that I think is good, but Wild Robot has just surprised the hell out of me. And we're all wondering, is it possible that a sequel could happen? Because this is based on a book series, and there are other stories to be told through those books. Well, according to Deadline now, we got a sequel. According to them, the Wild Robot sequel in the works at DreamWorks with director Chris Saunders. Now, this, I think, is great. I think this movie surprised a lot of people, especially me. Like I said in my review, The Wild Robot, was a movie that I wasn't excited to see. I was like, okay, it's going to be a fun little animated movie. I was more excited for Transformers 1. And then I watched the film. And I was like, this is my front runner for the best picture in animation at the Oscars this year. You can all say, oh, Inside Out. I'm like, yes, Inside Out was great. But this movie was special. Not just because, it was an animation style that I hadn't really seen before. We've all seen, the animation style for that Inside Out movies. It's an animation Pixar uses quite often. But this was a very, very different animation. And, I think its story was so impactful. And, people are watching it. People are watching this movie. Sure, it's not going to make $1 billion. Probably not even $200 million. But it's a great film. It is just a great film and story. And now we're going to go get a sequel. And I think that's great because you're already building... It seems like now they're trying to turn this into an IP, which I would love them to do because I enjoy that first movie. Sure, it's not going to be the biggest success, like I said, of the year. But it doesn't matter. The numbers show that people want more. People are going to go see this movie. This was a movie that this movie just keeps surprising me. And let's talk about Chris Saunders for a second. This is a guy who worked over at Disney. And then Disney screwed him over. He said, kind of F you, and I'm going to go over to DreamWorks. And he worked on movies, such as How to Train Your Dragon, The Croods. But this, I think, was one of the movies he came back to direct this. He was kind of like a writer, producer in those movies. And he came back. This was kind of his first movie. I believe it was since like Lilo and Stitch. He's also co-produced on the Boss Baby franchise and Kung Fu Panda franchise. And I think Chris Saunders did an amazing job. An amazing job. If I was a guy looking for someone to direct my animated movie, I'd go immediately to Chris Saunders. Guys, I love Transformers 1. I love it as a Transformers film. But as actual movie and story, The Wild Robot, I think, succeeds Transformers 1 in that way. And, it's a movie I enjoy. And I'm glad a lot of you are going to go check out this film. Because this is a very special film. I think, I think it's definitely my front runner for Oscar winner in animation at the Oscars. I think that's very much. But I'm excited. We're getting a Wild Robot sequel. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments down below. And let's move on to our third topic here today. And that is this. Deadpool and Wolverine. A great, great film. A great film. Not the best film of all time. I think it's a great movie. It's a great and very fun movie. And, a lot of people got really surprised when we saw Henry Cavill show up as Wolverine, a.k.a. the Calverine. And that was one of the biggest surprises in that film. Because remember we talked about a few months before Deadpool that Henry Cavill had decided to come over to Marvel, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't think it would really happen, but it did. Well, now, according to comicbookmovie.com, we might have not seen the last of Henry Cavill. According to them, Deadpool and Wolverine star Henry Cavill now rumored in talks for a full Marvel cinematic role. Now, this is from a scooper called My Time to Shine. And this is all a rumor, My Time to Shine does a lot of rumors. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's not right. Most of the time he's not really right. But let's just imagine that he's right about this. This could either be a multiversal Henry Cavill Wolverine film, which I'm in. I'm totally in. I will totally watch that. Or he could be playing a different character. Because, we've seen this before, in Marvel, where it's like, okay, we had Gemma Chan being Captain Marvel. But then, Gemma Chan was the main lead in Eternal. So they can use actors, twice. They've done it before. They probably will do it again, And, Henry Cavill, of course, he was Wolverine. But, we really just associate Wolverine with Hugh Jackman still. So I'm like, you could still let him go play another character, He could be, in a Blade movie, he could, I don't know, be in the Fantastic Four movie for all I care, He could be Wolverine in Fantastic Four. Who knows who he could be? I'm just so happy for my boy Henry. Because, I think Henry, he's had a rough patch. I believe, if that's to Superman, if that was to Argyle, even if that was for his last, lead in the movie. I think it was, the Ungently Warfare movie, which I thought was a good movie. Guy Ritchie, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't the best movie of all time. But no one really saw the film. And, of course, this week, we just reported the other day that Henry Cavill is going to be in Voltron. He's got Highlander coming. He's got his Warhammer series. So, Henry Cavill is still a very busy guy. And, if this is a Wolverine Henry Cavill movie, I'm good for that. I don't think we really need it. But I'm like, I would be fine with it, I think the one thing Marvel hasn't really utilized the multiverse in a way. I'm like, you can do something special with the multiverse. You can tell stories not connected to your overarching story, You could have a Peggy Carter movie. You could do a Henry Cavill movie. You could do a multiverse movie about all these multiversal characters. And you don't need to put MC on it. Look what DC's doing. DC is having their main movies in their DC extended universe. But then they also have Elseworlds stories. Elseworlds that's not connected to their universe, but stories they still want to tell in the DC brand. Stories like Joker. Stories like the Batman universe, the Penguin, those don't have to connect. Not everything has to connect. Sometimes you just kind of want to make a movie where you don't have to connect all this tissue in a film, and I'm okay with that, I love the Batman. And in no way, shape, or form do I want to see the Batman in the James Gunn universe. Because, personally, the story James Gunn wants to tell of his Batman wouldn't work. And that's the same thing here. People are like, oh my gosh, does that mean Henry Cavill is going to be the Wolverine in the MCU? No. They can do an Elseworld story. They could even do what they're doing with the Batman trilogy. Make it Henry Cavill Wolverine trilogy in another universe. And kind of like a Marvel Elseworld story. I think that would be really cool to see. But guys, what do you think about this rumor? Do you think Henry Cavill is actually going to be returning to play Wolverine? Or do you think he could be playing another character? And would you like to see, maybe if he is playing Wolverine, a Wolverine Elseworld trilogy at Disney and Marvel Studios? Leave your comments down below. And let's move on to our fourth topic here today. And that is this. Spider-Man 4. Oh, Spider-Man 4, we've talked so much about, if that's to the story, if that's to Venom, if that's to Null. But, there are other things going on. There are other things we need to talk about in this film, especially the supporting cast. We don't know who the supporting cast is. I'm in the sound of mind where I think you should have a new supporting cast for Tom Holland, because it was clearly at the end of No Way Home, he thought it would be better for MJ and Ned not to know who he is. That gives a chance for him to meet new people, new characters like Gwen Stacy, Harry Osborn, Felicia Hardy, Ben Reilly, Miles Morales, a whole smattering of other Spider-Man characters that we can get Tom Holland Spider-Man to meet, since this is going to be a new version of him, a version where he's finally by himself, where he really is that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And according to this report, Spider-Man 4 rumored to feature a huge return along with 2 new villains, possible spoilers. Now, it's not really going to be spoilers because this is all a rumor. So if you want to click away, you can click away right now. But if you want to know, this is according to, of course, My Time to Shine, again, which is kind of reliable and kind of not. This is what he had to say. He says, I hear Zendaya will return for Spider-Man 4. She will film from June until August, then move to film Dune 3. The movie will have a second female lead. It is unclear who she is. They are casting a new group of classmates for Peter, and 2 new villains. Also, Michael Keaton is coming back. Now, this is kind of conflicting a bit. Because we've been reporting on that Spider-Man 4 is a Venom Null movie. Now we're reading a new report saying, oh no, the Vulture and possibly a new female villain could show up, which we're guessing that's going to be Black Cat, because about 2 to 3 months ago we reported that Sydney Sweeney might be playing Black Cat in the new movie, which I would absolutely love, not just because it's Sydney Sweeney, because I've always wanted to see Felicia Hardy, Black Cat, on screen with a Peter Parker. And, I love, and it does say Zendaya will come back. I think if Zendaya does come back to Spider-Man, they're going to limit her role. Because, because it seems like there's a lot of rumors, like a lot of characters possibly being in here. And, if she does come back, I think, we're going to focus maybe on a new female character, There are so many, female characters in the Spider-Man comics. So many people that, have been in relationship with Peter Parker, who have been by Peter Parker's side, There isn't just Mary Jane. There isn't just MJ. There are other characters you can use. And I'm really happy they're kind of considering using another female character, rather than MJ or Mary Jane Watson or Gwen Stacy. Now, this kind of also makes us talk about, we still do not know what this movie is going to be about. Because we're getting so many conflicting rumors, like, is this a Venom Null movie? Is this a street-level Spider-Man movie? Or is it just another multiverse movie? I think we're going to find out if this movie is going to be a Venom Null movie is when Venom 3 comes out. If Venom 3 comes out and we get a post-credit scene or something where we see Tom Hardy showing up maybe at Peter Parker's new apartment or showing up in the MCU, I can most likely say that's going to be a Venom and Null movie. Now, in the past, what's happened with Sony is they've put those Spider-Man connective tissues in their films, but then taken them out later. So, guys, I'm going to say this now. If Tom Holland's Peter Parker is not in Venom 3, or if he does not cross over to that universe, Spider-Man 4 will be street level. And like I said before, at first I was not really great on the idea of multiverse for this movie. I was not. I was not going to be a fan of multiverse for the movie until they started saying, "Oh no, it's not going to be a Toby Andrew crossover. It's going to be a Tom Hardy Venom Spider-Man team up movie." And I'm like, I can get on board with that. I know a lot of people said they don't want that, but listen. Whatever you want to say about the Venom movies, Venom is a franchise that has made money for Sony, and crossing those two over together, people will be excited to see it. But all we can do is speculate right now. Guys, all we can do is speculate. So, if this is Venom and a Spider-Man movie, that would be great. But if it's also street level, with street level villains, if that's a Daredevil team-up movie, I am game for that as well. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think that this rumor is true? And what do you guys prefer? A Venom/Spider-Man team-up film or a more street-level Spider-Man movie? Leave your comments down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Guys, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Helps out our channel so much. And go check out all our other content on our channel. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.